Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm doing another saw it and bought it video where basically I went to Walmart, I saw something and I bought it because I was really intrigued by it. But this time my motive was a little bit different than just a new product with really cool marketing that made me want to buy it and try it. I actually was in Walmart and I saw a mascara first that I used to use in high school, and I bought like 3 or 4 tubes of it during my high school career, I guess you could say. And like my heart fluttered and I was like, oh my gosh, that mascara, I used to love that mascara. And then I started thinking like, oh my gosh, I wonder if there's some other products that I used to love in high school that are still here. And so I went around all the different aisles and I picked up a few things that made my heart sing when I saw them, like, oh my gosh, I used to love this in high school. So basically I'm wanting to retry them and see if they're still as good as they used to be, or as good as I used to think they were. Here's my bag of things that I got, and I can't wait to tell you guys why I picked up the products and like my memories of them. And then I'm really intrigued to see if I still feel the same or if the formulas have changed or what. So I'm really excited to see how good these products still are, if I still love some, if I maybe will pass on some. But anyways, I just am really excited to go down memory lane. This is the final look. I'm gonna do a before and after right here so you guys can see what the finished look is going to look like. But anyways, let's not waste too much time. I'm so excited to test out again, or reuse, I guess, these products that I seriously used to love. So let's get into it. All right, so my brows are filled in. Guys, I did not fill in my brows in high school. I am ashamed of that. YouTube wasn't a thing. I didn't know about filling in my brows. I read a couple books on makeup and stuff, and that's kind of what I learned from. So I think like later in high school, I might have used like a brow powder from e.l.f., but that's it. Seriously, I really rarely filled in my brows. But I'm not doing how I did my makeup in high school today. I'm just going to reuse products that I used to love in the way that I would use them today. So if you guys would like to see how I did my makeup in high school video, comment down below and let me know. I filled them in with the L'Oreal Brow Stylish Shape and Fill pencil. This is my favorite brow pencil from the drugstore. This is in the shade Blonde, and today I just left them normal. I didn't carve them out with concealer or anything. It just depends on the day. Like sometimes if I'm really feeling like a more cut brow, I guess, I will go ahead and carve them out with concealer, but I've been kind of into just like a more natural looking brow. Let's prime the face. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Master Prime Hydrate and Smooth Primer. This is not something I used in high school. This is a new product, and I really do like it. I like it because it's much more of a lotion-y consistency, but it still has a little bit of a almost silicone, like perfecting element to it, which I think is really nice. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna be using from my haul, I guess you could say, is this Revlon Photo Ready foundation. Now, I don't know if this is the exact formula I used to use. It was in a bottle like this and it was the Photo Ready foundation, but I don't remember if it was an airbrush effect one. We will see if it's the same formula that I remember. But I do remember my shade. My shade was 003 Shell. Let's hope that I'm still that shade. I have no idea. I sure hope that it still matches me in some way. So I'm really excited to pull this out though. I went through several of these as well. I think I bought 2 or 3 bottles. I think I went through that many in high school. So let's hope that this, ooh, the shade might be a little dark. Actually, no, I think it might work. So I just pumped some on the back of my hand. It might be slightly dark. Maybe slightly. We'll make it work. I'm gonna start by just taking a foundation brush, evenly distributing the foundation all over the face. It smells awfully similar, if not the same. I don't remember if this foundation oxidizes. And now I'm just going to take what's left on my hand and press the rest in with my sponge. Gosh, I think this is really nice actually. I don't really remember how well it wore or anything like that. I definitely think it's maybe more of a medium coverage, but I do remember I think I would build it up because I've always kind of had some problem skin or discoloration, so I really always went for or tried to go for a more full coverage foundation. This actually looks really nice. I just took one more pump and I'm kind of building coverage where I want it. Keep in mind in high school I didn't have like a beauty blender or anything like that. I just used to use my fingers to blend out foundation, which I'm sure worked fine, but I'm thinking that this foundation is looking way better than I remember because I have the right tools and I used a primer. I used to never use primers or anything like that. This looks really nice. I'm actually really impressed. I don't remember how it wears, so I might like leave a little note down in the description box kind of letting you guys know how I feel at the end of the day. I mean, the coverage is really nice. It's not super full coverage. You can still kind of see through my skin. It is kind of settling into my smile line already, but otherwise I really like the finish of it. We will see how it ends up looking by the end of this. All right, concealer. I used to use this Neutrogena Healthy Skin 3-in-1 concealer for eyes, and I picked up the shade 05 Fair powder, which I believe was the shade that I used to use. I could like remember the smell. As soon as I saw this in the aisle, I was like, oh, that's the concealer I used, and I could like smell it in my mind. I remember with this, a little went a long way. Yeah, it still has the same little applicator on it. So it has like this little dropper thing. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my finger. I really don't remember how much covers. I think you only needed a little bit because if I remember right, this lasted me a really long time. Yes, the smell, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I'm kind of distributing it under the eyes first with my fingers, and then I will go ahead and blend it out with, maybe I'll just do that. I'll blend it out with a sponge. This is kind of a darker shade for it being the lightest shade that they carried. They only had like 3 shades of this though. Yeah, it's definitely not as light as I normally do my concealer these days, but that's because again, there was no Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, anything like that. So I didn't know about highlighting and contouring necessarily. I just knew, you know, you cover up your problems with concealer and then you like bronze the skin a little bit. But actually, I don't even know if I used bronzer ever. Yeah, it's definitely not as highlighted as I do my concealer now. I think since then there's been a lot better formulas that have been released. I feel like this isn't as full coverage as I would typically like. I'm gonna add a little bit more to try to cover up my dark circles here. The smell though, the smell reminds me of like every morning getting ready in high school, and I used to never do my concealer like this either. I think I put my concealer on first and then foundation. I'm just gonna make sure there's a little bit of concealer or foundation from the sponge on my eyelid to just cancel out any veins or redness there. Okay, I'm gonna set the face with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finish Powder. This is not something that I used in high school, obviously, because this is a fairly new product to Maybelline. Came out last year, I believe. But I'm just gonna take that. This is the shade Fair, and I'm going to use a little brush to kind of bake right under the eyes, and then I'm gonna set the eyelids with this as well. I'm also taking that same Fair shade and setting the center of the face. So the chin, Cupid's bow, we'll set the center of the nose and the center of the forehead. And then I'm gonna take another shade of that Fit Me powder. This one is the shade 10 Fair Light, so I think it's just the next shade under. And with this, I'm just gonna press a little bit of the powder on the rest of the face to kind of set the foundation elsewhere. I don't know why I said elsewhere. Everywhere else. Oh, whoops. Too much. So now let's bronze up the skin. I actually could not remember what bronzer I used. If I used a bronzer, I don't even know. So I'm just gonna go into my current favorite bronzer. This is from L'Oreal. It's the True Match Lumi Bronze It Bronzer. You guys have heard me talk about this so many times now. I can't stop using it. I can't stop talking about it. So you guys are gonna see a lot of this on my channel, I feel like this entire year. It's such a good bronzer. I feel like there haven't been bronzers that, you know, have compared to or have been better than, or I don't know, just even in the same ballpark as the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, but this I feel like is an equal match. In my opinion, they both kind of do different things for me. This one's a little bit more luminous, but not sparkly, so it will give your skin a little bit more of a sheen, where the Physicians Formula Bronzer is much more of a true matte formula. But both undertones in these bronzers are amazing. The Physicians Formula one and this one, I just love them. So I'm just going to put this all around the perimeters of the face to bring some warmth back into the skin. I'm also going to use that same bronzer down the sides of the nose and up here a little bit, as well as right underneath the nose and then right under the lip. And then I'm just going to use whatever powder brush I was using before and buff around the bronzer to really help smooth that out. So now let's go into blush. This was my favorite This was my favorite blush in high school. It's the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Blush, and the shade I used to love is Innocent Flush. It's this really beautiful peachy shade. I've been meaning to pick up another one of these for so long because I remember really loving it, and these peachy shades are still my jam. So let's apply this. I'm so excited. I remember this being really pretty. Hopefully it still is. So I'm just gonna take that on a blush brush, and I don't remember how pigmented it is, so I'm just taking a really light hand. Yes. It kind of has like a luminosity to it. It's really, really subtle, but it's definitely a little bit luminous. And you guys know I'm a blush girl, so I don't hesitate to put some blush on. And then I'm just going to buff that into the skin with my fluffy brush. Yeah, it definitely has an iridescence to it, which I don't ever remember, but it's definitely a really, really pretty, soft, kind of glowy blush. Fun. I like it. So for eyeshadow, I couldn't find any of the eyeshadow quads that I used to use. I used to use this one from L'Oreal, and I think they've discontinued it. So I'm going to be just going into a Maybelline palette. This is the Maybelline The Nudes palette. We're just going to do a really simple makeup look today. I'm going to start off with this bone color shade here and sweep it all over the lid just to create a nice base for the shadows. Next, I'm going to hop into this really nice taupe shade. I used to always use this taupe single eyeshadow from Maybelline, and I tried to find it. I think they have one similar, but it was out of stock at the Walmart I was at, so this one will have to work. But I used to use a taupe eyeshadow all over the lid. I never put eyeshadow underneath my lash line until later, like until college. I learned that I actually liked how that looked. I was always so scared to put like eyeshadow underneath my like lower lash line. I thought it looked like I would have a black eye, so I was always so hesitant. But now I can't do my makeup without doing that. It's so funny how things change. And while we're at it, I'm just gonna take a little bit more of a detail brush and run that same taupe shade on the lower lash line. Then I'm gonna take this bronzy shade here, and I'm gonna use this all over the lid. We're getting fallout. No! I'm gonna actually try wetting the brush to see if we can get this bronze shade to be a little more pigmented. So I put the eyeshadow on the brush first, and then I sprayed it with the Morphe setting spray. Oh yeah, that's way better. Oh, that's way better, wow. Just taking what's left on the brush while we're at it, and putting a little bit of that on the lower lash line. So now I'm just taking this shade right here, and I'm deepening up the outer third of both the top lash line, or top lid, I always do that, the top lid, and kind of working it into the crease a little bit as well. Just kind of buffing out the edges of the bronze shade we initially applied, and just moving in circular motions, buffing that out, and popping a little bit on the lower lash line as well. I wasn't realizing that I was gonna make a smoky eye today. Otherwise, I probably would have done my eyes first, but you know what? We're just gonna go with the flow. I'm just taking a clean brush and blending over all the shadows just to make sure everything's blended. Now, this is something that I used in high school that I still use and have still repurchased. It's the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Eyeliner in the shade Blackest Black. I'm just gonna do a nice thin line across the lash line. I don't know, I might do a wing. I don't know yet. We will see. So I ended up going with a little cat eye. I don't know. That's just the direction that it started to go. The next item that I picked up that I used to love in high school, and I went through probably 3 or 4 of these as well, is the Maybelline Lash Stiletto Mascara. I used to love this stuff. And I remember I loved it because it would really lengthen my lashes. I still remember like the TV commercials that would play for this, because like how else were we supposed to know about new makeup unless we went to the drugstore, picked up some sort of magazine, or saw a commercial on TV for it, you know? There wasn't YouTube to recommend products, so I remember the commercial for this product and I remember really, really wanting it. So here it is. I also really like the packaging on this because it's shaped like a stiletto heel. Isn't that cute? So let's see if this is still as good as I remember. Sometimes new mascaras are a little bit more runny. I'll keep that in mind because it might thicken up a little bit as I use it, but let's see if I still like how this looks. So I just applied the mascara on one eye, but before I apply it to the other eye, I'm just kind of using some of the Maybelline Fit Me powder to really try to wipe away some fallout from my smoky eye that I made and just kind of clean up the under eye area. So I just finished applying the mascara and it definitely lengthens, I can't say that, lengthens the lashes, and it's really not too clumpy at all. It clumps a little bit, but for the most part, it's really good at separating the lashes. It's not as volumizing as some of the mascaras that I've been gravitating toward, but I do really, really like that. If you like a little bit more length versus volume, I feel like you would really like this mascara. I'm definitely gonna keep using this to see, you know, if I keep, is there a helicopter? But I'm definitely gonna keep using this to see how I like it over the next few days. So I'm really excited about that though. So I never used highlighter in high school. I didn't use highlighter till like a couple years ago. So I'm just gonna go in with my favorite Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I love this so much. It just provides a really nice, more natural, subtle highlight, which I personally really like. So I'm just going to apply this to the high points of the face. So cheekbones, and I like to bring it in kind of a C shape around this area here. Down the center of the nose, and in between the eyes. I don't know why. This spot right here I really like to highlight these days, and then I stop right about there. I don't take the highlight on the nose all the way down because that can actually lengthen your nose depending on the shape of your nose, but I'm just also putting it right above the brows so that when you turn your head you kind of have that natural sheen going all throughout here. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend all of this together again. So now I'm going to go back and kind of sharpen up these brows a little bit. Since my eye look is much more smoky, sometimes as I do my makeup my brows will kind of come off, and with a smoky eye I really want a little more definition. So I'm just going back to the brows, revisiting and refilling the sparse areas that may have showed up as we were applying makeup. I almost forgot, I'm going to take my highlighter, the Essence highlighter, and use this to highlight the inner corners of the eye. We can't forget that step. This is like my favorite step in makeup. Well, one of them. I'm also taking that highlighter right under the highest arch point of the brow, and popping it right underneath there to kind of lift the brow a little bit. All right, let's set the face before we apply lipstick. I'm excited to see what I think of the lipstick now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So I remember really loving Revlon lipstick, so I went over and I was looking at the shades and I just remember Apricot Fantasy. I remember having this one. So it's like a pearly peach color though. It's a pearl lipstick, which I don't think I really like anymore. We'll see. I could really like it, but here it is, Apricot Fantasy. Kind of has like a gold pearl to it. Let's see if we still like this color. I'm just gonna apply it to the lips. Okay, so I'm actually going to redo this because I had foundation on my lips and I want to make sure that the lipstick color is truly shining through. So I'm just gonna wipe this off just to make sure that the lipstick can be applied over my true lip color. So let's try that again. I have not put on a pearl lipstick in so long. I don't know if this really matches the eye makeup I made, but it matches the blush, and I used to wear those two a lot together. It's been so long since I've worn a pearl lipstick, I'm actually not that mad about the finish. I do feel like I should have exfoliated my lips a little bit before because it definitely accentuates any texture that I have in my lips or any dry spots I have. So that's one thing I wish I would have done. Otherwise, I actually don't mind the color. I feel like this could be really pretty with a more natural eye as well, just like the complexion with a much more natural eye. But I do think it works with this look at the same time. So fun! It's so fun to try my old favorites. I'm gonna set the brows, and I'm actually gonna use Glossier Boy Brow. I know this isn't Drugstore, but I feel like this look needs this product specifically. So I'm just gonna run this through the brows. So there you have it, you guys. That completes this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I know I really had so much fun going through old products that I used to absolutely love in high school, and I'm actually kind of impressed by a lot of them. I definitely don't have like a full-on opinion because I don't really remember how they used to wear, so I can't like give you a full-blown opinion on my full thoughts of the products. I definitely really love the shade of the blush. I'm not minding the lipstick actually. The foundation and concealer, I think that they perform pretty well. I feel like now there are better drugstore formulas out there, but I'm gonna keep an eye on how this wears throughout the day. Who knows? It could be a really good foundation and concealer option. I will keep you posted on that. I do feel like the eyes could have been a little different with the products that I was going for on the rest of the complexion, but you know what? It all came together somehow. So if I were to do it again, I might do something a little more simple on the eyes to kind of complement everything else. But other than that, I'm really happy with how the look turned out. Hopefully you guys had fun watching this. Let me know in the comments below what some of your favorite products were in high school and whether you still use them or whether you've let go of some. I would love to hear what you guys still use from high school or what you've been dying to repurchase that you used to love. So tell me down below in the comments. As always, if you guys want to join the family, hit the subscribe button on your way out. And if you guys are already subscribed but you want to be notified each time I post a video, just go ahead and click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll be notified every single time I upload so you won't miss out. Thank you so much for always being so supportive. I love reading through all of your comments, so please comment anything down below. Always leave me recommendations. If you guys have video ideas that you would like to see here on my channel, I'm always open to video ideas, so please leave those down below as well if you've got something that you'd like to see. And I think that is everything, you guys. I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!